Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Listen and Learn English. I'm Emma, and I'm really happy that you are here with us today. Whether you are listening while relaxing at home, traveling, or maybe even sitting in a cafe, we are very excited to spend some time learning English together.
Hello, Emma, and hello to all our wonderful listeners around the world. I'm Tom, and I'm also very happy to be here. Emma, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Tom. Today has been a nice day. This morning I went for a short walk and then stopped at a small cafe to get some coffee. While I was there, I was thinking about today's lesson.
Really? It sounds relaxing. I actually had a similar morning. I was feeling a little hungry, so I went to a small restaurant near my house and ordered breakfast. And that made me think about how interesting restaurant conversations can be.
Exactly. And that is why today's topic is how to talk in a restaurant in English. Many English learners feel nervous when they go to a restaurant and need to speak English.
Yes, that's very true. Sometimes people know the words, but they are not sure what sentences to say or how to sound polite.
Don't worry, friends. In today's episode, Tom and I will guide you step by step. We will talk about what usually happens in a restaurant and teach you simple and useful sentences you can use.
And of course, we will also share some funny stories and real experiences about restaurants.
Oh, yes, I think Tom has a few funny food stories.
Maybe a few embarrassing ones too.
Before we start, dear friends, please take a moment to like the video because every like helps our channel grow and reach more English learners around the world.
And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our future English lessons.
We also love reading your comments, so tell us, what is your favorite food or what food do you usually order at a restaurant?
Maybe someone will say pizza or pasta, or maybe something very spicy.
Now I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Me too, but first, let's start learning.
All right, friends, let's begin our lesson and learn how to speak English in a restaurant. All right, friends, let's move to the next step. Imagine that you have just arrived at a restaurant. Maybe you're a little excited, maybe a little nervous, especially if you need to speak English.
Yes, that's a very common feeling. When people enter a restaurant, the first thing they usually see is a host or hostess standing near the entrance.
That person is there to welcome guests and help them find a table. The host might smile and say something like, "Hello, welcome. How many people are in your group?"
And then you can answer with a simple sentence like, "A table for two, please."
Or if you are with friends or family, you might say, "We are 4 people," or "A table for 4, please."
Sometimes the host may also ask, "Do you have a reservation?"
A reservation means that you called the restaurant earlier and booked a table.
If you have one, you can say, "Yes, I have a reservation under the name Tom."
And if you don't have a reservation, you can simply say, "No, we don't have a reservation."
Emma, this reminds me of a funny story that happened to me a few years ago.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, I went to a very popular restaurant with a friend, and when we arrived, the host asked, "Do you have a reservation?" I confidently said yes, but actually I didn't.
Oh no, why did you say yes?
I was nervous and thought maybe they would give us a table faster, but then the host asked, "Under what name?" and suddenly I didn't know what to say.
That must have been awkward.
It was. I quickly said, "Oh, maybe I made a mistake. I think we don't have a reservation."
Well, honesty is always the best option.
Yes, and luckily the restaurant wasn't full, so they still gave us a table.
Another useful question you can ask is, can we sit near the window?
Or, "Do you have a table outside?"
Many restaurants have outdoor seating, especially when the weather is nice.
Once the host finds a table for you, they usually say something like, "Please follow me."
Then they will lead you to your table and your restaurant experience officially begins. All right, friends, now that you are sitting comfortably at your table, the next step is looking at the menu. The menu is where you can see all the food and drinks the restaurant offers.
Yes, and usually the waiter or waitress will come to your table and say something like, "Hello, here are your menus."
Sometimes they may also say, "Can I get you something to drink while you look at the menu?"
That means they're asking if you would like water, juice, soda, or another drink while you decide what food to order.
When you look at the menu, you might see different sections like appetizers, main dishes, desserts, and drinks.
Emma, I have to admit something. Whenever I'm very hungry and I see a menu with many delicious options, I sometimes want to order everything.
I think many people feel the same way.
Yes, one time I was so hungry that I ordered an appetizer, a large main dish, and a dessert. And then I realized I couldn't finish all the food.
Oh no, what did you do?
I had to ask for a takeaway box so I could bring the rest of the food home.
That's actually very common in many restaurants, and it's a good way to avoid wasting food.
While looking at the menu, customers sometimes ask the waiter questions to understand the dishes better.
For example, you can ask, "What do you recommend?"
Or, what is today's special?
The special is a dish the restaurant recommends for that day.
Another useful question is this dish spicy?
That's a great question if you don't like very spicy food.
Or if you have dietary preferences, you can ask, does this dish contain meat?
Asking questions about the menu is completely normal, and waiters are usually happy to explain the dishes.
And remember, there is no need to rush. Take your time, read the menu carefully, and choose what you like.
All right, friends, now that you have looked at the menu and decided what you want to eat, it is time for the next step, ordering your food.
Yes, this is the moment when the waiter or waitress comes to your table and asks if you are ready to order.
They might say something like, "Are you ready to order?" Or, "What would you like today?"
When you answer, it's always nice to speak politely. One of the most common and polite ways to order food is to say, I would like.
For example, you can say, "I would like the grilled chicken, please."
Or, I would like a bowl of soup.
You can also order drinks by saying, "I would like a glass of water." Or, "Can I have an orange juice, please?"
Emma, I remember a very funny situation that happened to me when I ordered food at a restaurant once.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, I saw a dish on the menu called extra spicy noodles. I thought, I like spicy food, so this should be fine.
Let me guess. It was much spicier than you expected.
Much, much spicier. When the food arrived, it looks amazing, but after the first bite, my eyes started watering and my face turned red.
Oh, no. What did you do?
I quickly asked the waiter, could I have a glass of water, please?
That's a very useful sentence.
Yes, and I probably drank 3 glasses of water that night.
That's a good reminder to always ask questions if you're not sure about the food.
Exactly. For example, you can ask, is this dish very spicy?
Or, "What ingredients are in this dish?"
Another useful phrase is, could I have this without onions?
That is helpful if you want to change something in the dish.
And remember, when ordering, it's always good to say please and thank you.
Being polite makes the conversation friendly and respectful. All right, friends. Now that you have ordered your food, the next stage is talking with the waiter or waitress during the meal. This part of the conversation is usually simple and friendly.
Yes, and sometimes the waiter will come to your table to make sure everything is going well.
They might ask something like, "Do you need anything else?" Or, "Can I bring you something else to drink?"
If you need something, you can politely ask using phrases like, "Excuse me, could we have some water, please?"
Or, "Could we have some more bread?"
Another common sentence is, "Excuse me, may I have some napkins?"
These are very useful phrases because sometimes small things like water, bread, or napkins make your meal more comfortable.
Emma, I remember one time when I had a very friendly waiter at a restaurant.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, after bringing our food, the waiter came back and asked, "How is everything?" I said the food was delicious, and then we started talking about different types of food from different countries.
That sounds like a nice conversation.
Yes, he told me about his favorite dishes, and I told him about foods from my hometown. It turned into a very interesting conversation.
That's one of the great things about restaurants. Sometimes you can meet friendly people and have short conversations.
And it's also a great opportunity to practice speaking English naturally.
If you want to ask the waiter something, you can begin with "Excuse me," which is a polite way to get someone's attention.
For example, "Excuse me, could I change my side dish?"
Or, "Excuse me, could we get another spoon?"
Emma, I also remember a time when I accidentally dropped my fork on the floor.
Oh, no.
Yes, and I had to ask the waiter, "Excuse me, could I have another fork, please?"
That's a very practical sentence.
The waiter smiled and brought a new one immediately.
That shows how helpful restaurant staff usually are.
And remember, when the waiter helps you, it's always nice to say thank you.
All right, friends, now let's talk about what usually happens during the meal. After your food arrives at the table, this is the moment when you start enjoying your meal.
Yes, and usually a few minutes after the food is served, the waiter or waitress may come back to your table to check if everything is okay.
They might ask something like, "How is everything?" Or, "Is the food all right?"
These are very common questions in restaurants. The waiter simply wants to make sure that you are enjoying your meal.
If everything is good, you can answer politely with simple sentences like, "Everything is great, thank you."
Or, the food is delicious.
You can also say, "Everything tastes wonderful."
Amak, I remember one time when I was eating at a restaurant and the food was so good that I forgot to answer the waiter.
What happened?
The waiter asked, "How was the food?" But my mouth was completely full. I tried to answer, but I couldn't speak clearly.
Oh no,
So I just smiled and gave a big thumbs up.
that actually works.
Yes, and the waiter understood immediately that the food was good.
Sometimes, if there's a small problem with the food, customers may politely tell the waiter.
For example, you could say, "Excuse me, this dish is a little cold."
Or, "I think there might be a mistake with my order."
But it's always best to speak politely and calmly.
Another common situation is when you want to order something extra during the meal.
For example, you might say, "Could I have another glass of water, please?"
Or, "Could we order another side dish?"
Emma, I also remember one time when the dessert menu looked so good that I couldn't resist.
Let me guess, you ordered dessert even though you were already full.
Exactly. I said, "Could we see the dessert menu, please?"
That's a very important sentence for people who love sweets.
Absolutely.
All right, friends, after you finish your meal and feel satisfied, the next step is asking for the bill. This is the moment when you pay for your food and prepare to leave the restaurant.
Yes, and in many restaurants, the waiter will not bring the bill until you ask for it, so you need to politely get the waiter's attention.
A very common and polite way to ask is, "Excuse me, could we have the bill, please?"
In some places, people also say check instead of bill. For example, "Could we have the check, please?"
Both expressions are correct, but in American English, check is more common.
After that, the waiter will usually bring a small folder or tray with the bill.
When you receive the bill, you can check the total price and decide how you would like to pay.
For example, you can ask, "Can we pay by card?"
Or, "Do you accept credit cards?"
If you want to pay with cash, you can simply give the money to the waiter.
Tom, this reminds me of a funny situation that happened to me once.
Oh, really? What happened?
One time, I was eating dinner with a friend, and when the waiter brought the bill, my friend said, "Don't worry, I will pay."
That sounds nice.
Yes, but then we realized something funny. Both of us had forgotten our wallets at home.
Oh no, that must have been a very awkward moment.
It really was. We looked at each other and started laughing because we didn't know what to do.
So how did you solve the problem?
Luckily, my friend remembered that she had a mobile payment app on her phone, and the restaurant accepted it.
That's a lucky solution.
Yes, and it taught me an important lesson. Always check that you have your wallet before going to a restaurant.
Another situation that sometimes happens is when people want to split the bill.
That means each person pays for their own food.
You can say, "Could we split the bill?"
Or, "Can we pay separately?"
These are very useful sentences when you're eating with friends.
All right, friends, we have reached the final stage of today's lesson. In this episode, we talked step by step about how to speak English in a restaurant.
Yes, we started from the moment you arrive at the restaurant, then we talked about getting a table, looking at the menu, ordering food, speaking with the waiter, enjoying the meal, and finally asking for the bill.
As you can see, restaurant conversations are usually simple and practical. You only need a few useful phrases and a little confidence.
Exactly. For example, sentences like, "A table for two, please. I would like the grilled chicken. Could we have the bill, please?" are very common and easy to use.
Another important tip is to speak politely. Words like please, thank you, and excuse me make your conversation friendly and respectful.
And remember, you don't need perfect English. The most important thing is to communicate clearly and confidently.
Every real-life situation, like ordering food at a restaurant, is a great opportunity to practice speaking English.
And sometimes you might even have interesting conversations with waiters or other customers.
Before we finish, we want to say thank you to all of our amazing listeners who continue learning English with us.
If you enjoyed today's lesson, please like the video because it helps our channel grow and reach more learners around the world.
Don't forget to subscribe to Listen and Learn English so you don't miss our future lessons.
And we love reading your comments, so tell us, what is your favorite food to order in a restaurant?
Maybe pizza, pasta, burgers, or something from your home country.
Talking about food always makes me hungry.
Me too. Maybe it's time for us to go to a restaurant now.
That sounds like a great idea.
All right, friends. Thank you for learning with us today.
Thank you. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and enjoy learning English.
See you in the next lesson.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.